I want to take you back to a moment. Imagine it's 2005. Social media barely exists. Facebook has only just opened beyond college campuses. YouTube is a few months away. Smartphones are still 2 years away. And someone sits across from you and says, the internet is going to fundamentally change how businesses reach customers. The people who learn how to use it now, who build their presence now, who understand digital distribution now, are going to have an advantage that compounds for the next 2 decades. The people who wait and see are going to spend the next decades catching up to the ones who moved. What would you have done with that advice? If you're honest, most people in 2005 would have nodded politely and done nothing, because the urgency wasn't felt, because the transformation was invisible from inside it. Because wait and see felt like the sensible, responsible option when change hasn't fully arrived yet. We're in the moment again, right now in 2026 with AI, and I want to be the person who says to you clearly, without hype, without breathless exaggeration, that has made so many people tune out of this conversation. The people who go all in understanding and using AI right now are building an advantage that will compound for the next decade. The people who wait until it feels urgent will spend years catching up to people who are already 2 years ahead. This is not a prediction. This is already happening. The gap is already forming. The question is not whether AI is changing the landscape. It is which side of the change you intend to be on. Let's talk about it. Let me describe the relationship that most people currently have with AI. They've tried ChatGPT maybe a few times. They were impressed or mildly unsettled, or both. They have seen the demos, read a few articles, watched a few videos. They have a vague sense that this is important. And then they went back to doing exactly what they were doing before. Not because they are unintelligent or incurious, but because the gap between being aware that something is important and actively reorganizing your skills, your workflow, your thinking around it is enormous. And almost no one crosses it without a specific practical reason to. Here's the specific practical reason to. In 2006, AI is no longer a novelty or a productivity accessory. It is the primary competitive divide in almost every knowledge-based profession and creative field. The marketer who uses AI to research, test, iterate campaign is operating at a speed and scale that non-AI counterparts cannot match. The content creator who uses AI to develop ideas, draft structures, repurpose content, and analyze performance is producing at a rate that will require a full team 2 years ago. The entrepreneur who uses AI to conduct market research, generates customer personas, drafts proposal, build system, and identify opportunity is covering ground in a week that would have taken a quarter. These are not hypothetical. These people exist. They are in your industry right now. They are the ones growing faster, delivering more, charging more, and winning the opportunities that used to feel equally accessible. And the gap between them and the people who are still approaching their work the way they did in 2003 is widening every single month. The diagnosis is not that you don't know AI exists. The diagnosis is that you haven't yet decided to take it seriously. What's going on actually means. Before we get to the how, I need to address the phrase, because going all in on AI sounds more dramatic than I am asking of you. Going all in does not mean abandoning your expertise. It doesn't mean becoming a tech person if you're not one. It doesn't mean replacing your creativity with automation or surrendering your judgment to an algorithm. No. I don't mean any of that. It means 3 specific things. First, adopting a learner's posture. Approaching AI not as a tool you pick up when convenient, but as a domain you are actively studying. Reading about it, experimenting with it, building familiarity with it the way you would build familiarity with any new discipline that is relevant to your field. Second, integrating AI into your actual workflow, not using it occasionally when stuck, building it into specific processes that consume your time and energy, your research, your drafting, your planning, your analysis, your communication, identifying where it creates the most leverage for you specifically and starting there. Third, building an AI augmented identity. Becoming in your field the person who is known for bringing AI intelligence to bear on problems. Not because you are a technologist, but because you are a professional who has the wisdom to use the best available tool and the fluency to use them well. This is what going all in means. Not more technology, more leverage, more output per unit of effort, more space for the thinking and creating and deciding that only you can do, because AI is handling the part that does not require you at all. Now, let me show you exactly how. 5 practices, not a complete curriculum. The 5 things that, if you start this week, will fundamentally change how you work and what you are capable of inside 90 days. Practice 1. Build your AI toolkit. Start with 2, master them. The beginner mistake with AI is platform hopping, trying 15 tools superficially, developing real fluency with none. The first thing going all in requires is depth over breadth. Choose 2 tools, master them before you add a third. For most creators and knowledge professionals, the foundational tools are a large language model for thinking and writing like Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini. The specific choice matters less than the commitment to learning one well. Use it daily for drafting, for research, for brainstorming, for structuring complex ideas, for editing, for general angles you hadn't considered, for stress testing your arguments. The key to getting extraordinary output from these tools is not the tool, it is in the quality of your prompts. The better you get at communicating your intent, your context, your constraints, and desired output to an AI, the more powerful the output becomes. Prompting is a skill, and I need you to note this very well. Prompting is a skill. Invest in developing it. An AI-powered workflows tool specific to your domain. If you're a marketer, there are AI tools built specifically for campaign analysis, copy generation, audience research. If you're a creator, tools for content repurposing, transcription, and performance analysis. If you're a designer, AI-assisted design and visual generation. If you're a business owner, AI tools for proposal writing, system documentation, and customer communication. Find the one that sits in the middle of your actual work and start there. Practice 2. Replace your research process entirely. If you are still researching by opening 10 browsers tab, reading through them manually, you are paying a time premium that your AI-fluent competitors are not paying. AI changes research fundamentally. Instead of searching for information and then synthesizing it, you can now ask a well-formed question. Receive a synthesized overview with the key perspectives and conflicts already organized, identify which claims you want to verify with primary sources, and move directly to the nuanced analysis rather than the initial collection. The researcher who used to spend 3 hours gathering information now spends 40 minutes or maybe 30 minutes and arrives at a deeper analysis because they're spending time saved on thinking rather than gathering. Build this into your workflow this week. For the next thing you need to research, use an AI assistant to do the initial sentences. Compare the experience to your old process. You will not go back. Practice 3. Use AI as your first draft engine, not your final word. This is the nuance that separates AI-fluent professionals from people who produce generic AI output and wonder why it doesn't resonate. AI is extraordinarily good at first drafts. It is less good at final ones because final drafts require your specific voice, your specific judgment, your specific experience and perspective, none of which the AI has access to unless you give it deliberately. Now, here's the art flow that works. Use AI to build the structure, the skeleton, the initial draft, the raw framework of an argument, the first pass of a caption, the opening structure of an email. Then you, the thinking, feeling, experienced human who actually knows this field and this audience, go in and make it real. Add a specific example from your actual experience. Replace the generic insights with your counterintuitive one only you would know. Give it a voice that is recognizably yours. The AI does the assembly. You do the how came in. What it produces is content that is faster to create and higher quality than what either the AI or you could produce alone. The AI handles the structural cognitive load. You handle the nuance and authenticity. Together, the output is something your audience experiences as distinctively yours because it is, just produced at a rate that was previously impossible. Practice 4. Automate the repetitive, protect the creative. Here's the principle that should guide every AI integration decision you make. Automate what repeats, protect what creates. Now, I'm going to explain. The work you do that is repetitive, formatting content for different platforms, summarizing research, writing routine emails, creating meeting summaries, organizing information. All of this can and should be handled with AI assistance. The work you do that is genuinely creative, the original insights, the distinctive perspective, the unexpected connection between two ideas, the authentic emotional resonance of a story only you could tell. That is your protected creative territory. Not because AI cannot generate versions of it, but because your specific version of it is what your audience came for and what they are paying for. Map your weekly work. Draw a line. Above the line, repetitive and structural. Automate this with AI. Below the line, genuinely creative and specifically you. Protect this. Give them your best hours, your clearest thinking, and your full presence. The goal is not to work less. The goal is to work on the right things and to arrive at them with more time and energy, because AI has handled everything above the line. Practice 5. Develop AI literacy as a public skill. This last practice is the one with the longest term leverage. As you build your AI fluency, as you develop the workflows, the prompting skill, the judgments where AI helps and where it doesn't, begin to share that learning publicly in your content, in your community, in your professional conversations. Because in 2026, there's a growing cohort of people in every industry who desperately need a trusted guide for navigating AI. Not as a technologist, not as a theorist, but someone who is doing real work in a real field and can speak to what actually works and what doesn't work. Someone who combines domain expertise with AI fluency. That person is extraordinarily valuable in the field, to their client, to their audience. The combination of deep professional knowledge and practical AI competency is one of the rarest and most in-demand skills profile in the current market currently. You can be that person, not eventually. In the next 90 days, if you start today, document your experiments, share what you learn, name your failures as well as your wins. The audience that follows someone genuinely figuring this out in public, honestly, specifically, is one of the most loyal and commercially valuable audiences you can build right now. Now, let me come back to where we started. 2005, someone tells you, learn digital. Move now. The gap is forming and the window is open. Most people didn't move, not because they couldn't, but because change at that scale is invisible from inside. Because it requires acting on a future you cannot fully see. Because the cost of inaction doesn't feel urgent until it already is. I'm not asking you to act on hype in this video. I'm not asking you to abandon your expertise or your judgment or your hard-won professional knowledge that you have built over years. No, I am not asking you to do any of that. I am asking you to make a decision. A decision that the version of you 3 years from now will either thank you or mourn the absence of. The decision to take this seriously, to move with intention into a transforming landscape, to become the kind of professional who grows with change rather than being overtaken by it. You do not have to become a technologist. You do not have to understand the architecture of these models or keep up with every research paper, every single research paper, or be on the bleeding edge of every new tool. No, you do not have to do any of that. You have to be fluent. You have to be curious. You have to be willing to integrate, to let AI change how you work, not just what you work on. That is the version of you I am building toward in this video. Not the person who knows the most about AI, the person who uses it best, the professional whose work, because they are AI augmented, is faster, deeper, more creative, more impactful than it has ever been. The creator whose output, because AI handles the structural load, is more distinctively and authentically them, not less in any way. That version of you is not far away. It is a few decisions and a few weeks of deliberate practice from where you are right now. I mean, where you are standing right now. The window is open. Walk through it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're able to get 1 or 2 values. If you're able to, I'd love to know what stood out for you the most in this video in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. The channel is new, is a growing one. Join the community. I would love to hear from you. Thank you once again, and as always, I will see you in my next one.